Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Smitty's on the way. So let's go. Welcome to Broad Street.
Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly, score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Welcome to Broad Street. Welcome to episode 156. Yeah, welcome to Broad Street. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Broad Street. Your boy Cool Cat Connor Smitty is on the way. Let me do the official. Yep, welcome to Broad Street. Smitty is on his way, and you're rocking with me today. Smitty's on his way. Smitty is on his way. Don't worry. But while we waiting for my brother from another mother, let's get to the word of the day. Word of the day is forward. Let me get this comment out. Hold on. Go Birds. Salute to everybody, man. The word, what up? Eagles landed. Guys, by the way, before we get to the word of the day, we still got 257 people on the Birds of Broad Street. It should have been, we're 53 days away from kickoff of the 2024 NFL season. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like, subscribe, comment to the Birds of Broad Street YouTube channel. Okay? While we wait for Smitty. But the word of the day is forward. Forward. As a fan base, as an organization, and as a team, we need to move forward. We can't keep reminiscing about what happened last year. Did it piss everybody off? Absolutely. Did it make everybody mad? Yup. Hey, y'all. Salute to everybody rocking with me today. Did it make everybody mad? Yes. Did it piss everybody off? Yes. But at the end of the day, as a team and as a fan base, as we said, 53 days away, and as we said, 8 days away from training camp, we need to move forward as an organization. We can't be like these other teams that keep looking at the past. That's not how it works. Right? That's not how it works. We need to move forward. Right? We're 8 days away from training camp. We're 53 days. Need to move forward. Right. Salute to everybody, man. We need to move forward as fan base, y'all. We got to. I get it. I understand. Last season, but you got to move forward. That's what Nick Sirianni is doing. That's what Jalen freaking Hurts is doing. That's what all this organization is doing. Saquon Barkley, he's moving forward. He ain't worried about the New York Football Giants. He's moving forward. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he ain't looking to the past of the Detroit Lions or what happened to us in 2022 going into 2023. He's looking forward. You see, Aaron, yes, what happened last season, it got to be better this year. I agree, but you got to look forward. Got to look forward. Got to go that way. You can't go that way. I'm going to show you that. Look at the Cowboys. Let me turn on my green lights, by the way. Look at the Cowboys. They talk about their 5 rings, right? They talk about their 5 rings. They look in the past. They don't look forward. They don't look that way. They look to the past. Us as Eagle fans that rocks this, future. Right? And that's what I want everybody to do as a fan base, as a whole organization. Move forward. Move forward. Exactly. Move forward as a fan base. Okay? You got to move forward. So we're still waiting for Smitty. And I can't wait to hear him talk about this nonsense right here. The word of the day is forward. Exactly. We got different coordinators next season. It's going to be interesting. Exactly. That's why you got to move forward. Shane Steichen ain't coming back. All these coordinators that we had last year ain't coming back. Got to move forward. Same thing as these execs, man. Same as these execs. Look at this list. Look at this list, y'all. I can't wait to see Smitty reaction to this, by the way. This right here is voted by the scouts, the coaches, and the NFL execs. The top 10 quarterbacks. Number 1, obviously, is Patrick Mahomes. Number 2 is Joe Burrow. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Matthew Stafford. Number 6, Justin Herbert. Number 7, C.J. Stroud. Number 8, Aaron Rodgers. Number 9, Jared Goff. Number 10, Dak Prescott. Salute to you, Miss Ash. I'll let Smitty know that you hit him with a $10 super chat. Now to the honorable mentions. We have Brock Purdy as an honorable mention. We have Jordan Love as an honorable mention. We have Kirk Cousins as an honorable mention. We have Tua as an honorable mention. I think Trevor Lawrence as an honorable mention. And Jalen freaking Hurts as an honorable mention. And this is what they said about your quarterback. Jalen Hurts is an honorable mention. Yep, happy Monday. This is what they said about Jalen Hurts, who's an honorable mention. After a 3-year star turn that garnered a Super Bowl appearance and a $255 million contract, Jalen Hurts played depth in 2023. His QBR rank fell from 4th, 68.3 to 12, 60.1. His 15 interception was uncharacteristic that his total nearly matched that of his first 3 years combined, 18. A knee injury that he tried his best to manage clearly affected him, according to several evaluators. Right? He was playing hurt, an NFC executive said. The Eagles tried to downplay that, but he didn't look right. He wasn't the same runner he was in the past, and passing the ball was tough for him. Adding an AFC scout, he'll always be in the 7 to 12 range, depending on how productive he is each year. Also of note, the Eagles' offense became stale as a whole, according to a high-ranking NFL team official, and the predictable offensive attack affect Jalen Hurts' stock. That's what they said. That's what they said about our quarterback, y'all. That's what they said. I want to know from y'all because Emmanuel Acho said something today. We're going to hear from Emmanuel. We're going to hear from Emmanuel. I want to know what your thoughts in the chat. How y'all feel about this QB ranking? Because in the words of my sister, I think it's bougie. How we feeling? I want to know from my people. How we feeling? Let me get Emmanuel Acho, by the way. Let me get him. Because y'all need to hear this for yourselves. What he had to say. Let's see. Let's get LB. Because he commented on this. Let's get the Emmanuel Acho clip. Okay. How we feeling about that list? Before we hear Emmanuel. Exactly. So we're going to hear from Speak, because they got a lot to say. Okay? Let me cover this so I don't get copyrighted. So let's hear from Emmanuel Acho, what he has to say about our quarterback, Jalen freaking Hurts. Hold on. I want y'all to hear this. Y'all ready? Listen to what Emmanuel Acho has to say.
But the reason I don't have an issue with this list is very, 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 very simple. If you look at the quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl, and the objective of playing the quarterback position is to win a Super Bowl, in the last 15 years, I want you to look at the prototype of statistic of quarterback that's won a Super Bowl. On average, 30 passing touchdowns, James Jones, 1 rushing touchdown. And on average, the winning quarterback who wins the Super Bowl has 174 rushing yards in a season. So if you're looking for a quarterback to win you a Super Bowl, on average, over a 15-year sample size, you're looking for 30 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown a season, and 174 rushing yards a season. What Jalen Hurts does is incredible. He has 20 passing touchdowns. Obviously, he has those 13 rushing touchdowns, and he rushes for over 700 yards. But what we've realized is it just doesn't necessarily win you a Super Bowl. So if you are creating your list of quarterbacks that you prefer based upon what it takes, historically speaking, to win Super Bowls, then I would want to find quarterbacks that fit the criteria of winning Super Bowls. That is Matthew Stafford. That is Dak Prescott. That isn't a limited 2-year sample size Brock Purdy. That is Jared Goff. That isn't a very limited sample size Jordan.
Hold on. Smitty said he coming. Smitty said he coming. Right. He's coming. And besides, the show must go on. He coming. Right. Right. I can't leave y'all hanging. Right. He coming. Right. All right, let's go back and listen to Emmanuel Ocho. He coming.
But the reason I don't have an issue with this list is very, 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 very simple. If you look at the quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl, and the objective of playing the quarterback position is to win a Super Bowl, in the last 15 years, I want you to look at the prototype of statistic of quarterback that's won a Super Bowl. On average, 30 passing touchdowns, James Jones, 1 rushing touchdown. And on average, the winning quarterback who wins the Super Bowl has 174 rushing yards in a season. So if you're looking for a quarterback to win your Super Bowl, on average, over a 15-year sample size, you're looking for 30 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown a season, and 174 rushing yards a season. What Jalen Hurts does is incredible. He has 20 passing touchdowns. Obviously, he has those 13 rushing touchdowns, and he rushes for over 700 yards. But what we've realized is it just doesn't necessarily win you a Super Bowl. So if you are creating your list of quarterbacks that you prefer based upon what it takes, historically speaking, to win Super Bowls, then I would want to find quarterbacks that fit the criteria of winning Super Bowls. That is Matthew Stafford. That is Dak Prescott. That isn't a limited 2-year sample size Brock Purdy. That is Jared Goff. That isn't a very limited sample size Jordan Love. It's not to say that what Jalen Hurts does isn't fantastic, but if you are creating your list of best quarterbacks based upon who's the quarterback that looks most like Super Bowl champions look, then Jalen Hurts is not on that list until quarterbacks come along who look like Jalen and play like Jalen and win Super Bowls. Obviously, I don't mean look by skin color. I mean look by style of play. Until the Michael Vick had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Cam Newton had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Rob Griffin had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Tim Tebow had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Daniel Jones had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Lamar Jackson had come along and won a Super Bowl, until we see a quarterback play a similar style of ball. What I mean by that is a quarterback who rushes for over 700 yards annually and has 8 to 10 rushing touchdowns annually. Until we see that happen, I am not mad at the person who says, I don't want that quarterback. I'm not mad at them. I might not agree with them, but James, I'm not mad at that person.
So that was Emmanuel Ocho. That was Emmanuel Ocho on what he had to say about Jalen Hurts. That was Emmanuel Ocho. That was Emmanuel Ocho, ladies and gentlemen, on what he had to say about Jalen freaking Hurts. The hate is real, y'all. The hate is real. Let's just face facts. They don't like him. They don't like him. They'll never like him. Trust me. I know this for a fact. They don't like him. They don't. They never will. Jalen Hurts can climb Mount Everest. Yeah, Smitty's power. Smitty power was out, and he's waiting for it to come back on. Right. Smitty's power was out, and he waiting for it to come back on. Right. It's like, guys, Jalen Hurts can climb Mount Everest. They will never like the kid. Jalen Hurts could be the first black man on the moon. They will never like the kid. Jalen Hurts can win a Super Bowl. And guess what? They will come right back around. They'll come around and they say, you know what? Yeah, I want to see it again. I want to see it again. I want to see it again. They will never like him. Never. I don't get that. There's a lot of QBs that they say would take. that haven't won a bowl or even got there. Exactly. They don't like mobile quarterbacks. All right. Hold on, King. Before that, let me add your channel. First, yeah, let's bring King in here. Let me send him the link. Yeah, let's bring my guy King in here. Yeah, I'll send in your DM. Hold on. There you go, King. I sent it to you. Let me add your channel. All right. Let me. Bam. All right. What's up to everybody on King DV's channel? Welcome to Broad Street. The word of the day is forward, and we're just talking about these QB rankings. These right here to all the people that's on King DV's channel. There's nonsensical bullshit. Yeah. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Let's see. I don't think it's they don't like him, Cool Cut. It's because they don't believe Jalen Hurts is a... Exactly. They don't believe he's a franchise quarterback. They don't. They don't. They took one look at him. One look, and it's... They have one look of him. Exactly. That's why there's no winning these arguments. Let them have it. I just want Hurts to ball out and let his play do the talk. Exactly. Exactly. That's the thing about Jalen. You don't see him on social media running his mouth about all these people. You don't see him talking. I send the link to you, King, and your channel's up. You don't see him. It's like, let's go over this QB list while we wait for King. Let's go over this. Okay? Push Patrick Mahomes to the side. Push Patrick Mahomes to the side. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. I understand it. But come on, man. He went to the Super Bowl and he beat Patrick Mahomes. Okay, cool. Yeah, take your time, King. Take your time, King. Take your time. Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson MVP. Take your time. Fine. Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl. Okay. Just those four. But let's focus on this season. Can someone explain to me what Joe Burrow done? What Josh Allen? Didn't Jalen Hurts beat Josh Allen in an I'm him game? Matthew Stafford, what he done this season? Justin Herbert, really? CJ Stroud. In the words of all these people, he had one great year. He had one great year. Aaron Rodgers was hurt. Jared Goff, okay. And don't get me started on the other guy. The other guy made Mark Holmes look like, where is it? This.
Run Paulo here, because we've been throwing the ball a lot.
Oh, shit! Dad! No! It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off, it's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay.
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak.
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott.
Where
Trying to feed the CeeDee Lamb. Trying to feed the CeeDee Lamb. You trying to feed the CeeDee Lamb.
Okay? You got all these quarterbacks, but according to an exec, he was hurt. He was hurt. He can't read the defense. He's a running back for a quarterback. He can't throw. He got the Avengers. He got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. He had Miles Sanders. He had D. Swift. He had, he's now got Saquon Barkley. It was his fault that we lost the Super Bowl, not the defense. It was his fault. King DV, what's wrong with these people? What up, bro?
Everything is wrong with them, man. Everything. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Welcome to Broad Street, bro.
All right, listen. When it comes to Dak Prescott, I don't know why he's on the list. I've been thinking about this all week.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott does not deserve to be on this list. You know why Dak Prescott don't deserve to be on this list?
Yeah.
Because he's not a winner.
Exactly.
I'm sure not a better football player than Jalen Hurts. He's not. Number one. Number two, what's going on, Rock?
Yeah.
What's going on, Aaron? Number two.
By the way, your channel's up. I put your channel up.
I heard it. I was trying to get on.
Take time.
But number two, put up that list again.
All right, hold on. Let me set it up. List.
I got time today.
Yep.
Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl and lost like Jalen Hurts. Okay, this is possibly the only argument that you really got. You know, besides that, you know, Josh Allen couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes, so he never got to a Super Bowl. He got an MVP, but never got to a Super Bowl. So did Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson's stats in the playoffs don't even look like how it did in the regular season either. Matthew Stafford got a ring. So he should be a little bit higher if you go by accolades, right? I don't even know why Justin Herbert's up there. CJ Stroud had 1 year. Aaron Rodgers old, and he didn't even play last year, and he's in the top 10. That's crazy. Jared Goff, I think he should be a little bit higher. Honestly, I agree with Cam Newton that he's a game manager, but he's probably one of the best, if not the best, game manager in the league. Because you can say Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy has a lot of weapons. He has Christian McCaffrey. He has Deebo Samuel. He had Brandon Ayuk. I don't even know if he's going to be on the team next year. But, you know, Jared Goff has St. Brown, has two good running backs. But it's not like what they got there in San Fran. So I would say Jared Goff is a better game manager than him. But you know, like I say, and I say this all the time, that our guy should be in the top 3, and he's not number 3. That's where it is with it. He has one bad season, and he's getting all this off-season criticism because that's a hot topic right now. So now everybody's throwing shots at Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts did better than your quarterback or your favorite team. Or better yet, he broke records in the NFL, franchise records. He broke everything on the losing season. Mind you, a losing season for Jalen Hurts when he's starting the full season and he's getting immaculated with the offense. It's 11-6. It's 11-6, and it's only 11-6 because everything wasn't right on offense with the Philadelphia Eagles. Everything wasn't right. So if you sit up there and say things like Jalen Hurts is not on this list because he can't win or anything like that. So Dak Prescott shouldn't even be on this list. CJ Stroud shouldn't even be on this list. Lamar Jackson shouldn't even be on this list because he hasn't won. He won a playoff game, but he can't stand the test of time against a Patrick Mahomes like Jalen Hurts did. The only person that I can say that you got an argument with is Joe Burrow, and that's because he beat Patrick Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford needs to be higher because he has a ring. Now I won't say that was all on him because they had a great defense that year, the Rams. But overall, I think that it's BS, and we know it's BS. We know it's BS.
Yep. What up, Trigger?
Y'all can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
What's going on, Trey?
What's up, bro? How you been?
I'm good.
Yep. Yeah. We talking about this QB list, and then I'm gonna let y'all listen to Emmanuel Acho and react to it. But what's your thoughts on this QB rankings? Trey, as voted by the NFL executive, coaches, and scouts, and what they said about Jalen as an honorary mention.
I think this list BS, man. Half of these dudes on this list was hurt last year.
Yep.
Joe Burrow was hurt. He's in and out for real. Justin Herbert, he was out there the whole season. Aaron Rodgers didn't even play a snap last year, and Matthew Stafford was in and out of the lineup. So, I mean, it's really just. It's really just opinion at this point. I feel like Jared Goff should even be higher on this list. He had a phenomenal season last year. A phenomenal season. I feel like he should be higher on it. He should be at least in that top 5. And Jalen Hurts should be somewhere around that 8-ish, 7, 8-ish range. I don't even see how you could put Aaron Rodgers on her. You don't know how he's going to look when he come back. He missed the whole season. Justin Herbert basically missed the whole season. So, I mean, it's really just like, it's basically like how the MVP is all personal opinion and stuff like that. They're not really going on stats with this one. So, I mean, I don't really put too much into this list right here.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna let y'all.
So y'all want to know? Y'all want to know what's crazy? Before you play the outro, Joe, you want to know what's crazy? At the end of 2022, heading into the 2023 season, do y'all know what Jalen Hurts was ranked at?
I think he was 6 when I heard ESPN.
Exactly. But this is the same quarterback they said that outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. This is the same quarterback that basically had one of the best runs ever, and the best Super Bowl performance ever. And he was ranked number 6. But in the NFL top 100, he was ranked 3rd by his peers that year. So how do you go from 3rd of all your peers of all positions, and then in quarterback rankings, you're ranked 6th? That don't make sense to me.
Exactly. All right, let's hear Emmanuel Acho. Seeing as you guys just came in, we heard it in the chat, but for those of y'all who didn't hear what Emmanuel Acho just said, here's a snippet of reason why he agrees with this list. Here we go.
But the reason I don't have an issue with this list is very, 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 very simple. If you look at the quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl, and the objective of playing the quarterback position is to win a Super Bowl, in the last 15 years, I want you to look at the prototype of statistic of quarterback that's won a Super Bowl. On average, 30 passing touchdowns, James Jones, 1 rushing touchdown. And on average, the winning quarterback who wins the Super Bowl has 174 rushing yards in a season. So if you're looking for a quarterback to win you a Super Bowl, on average, over a 15-year sample size, you're looking for 30 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown a season, and 174 rushing yards a season. What Jalen Hurts does is incredible. He has 20 passing touchdowns. Obviously, he has those 13 rushing touchdowns, and he rushes for over 700 yards. But what we've realized is it just doesn't necessarily win you a Super Bowl. So if you are creating your list of quarterbacks that you prefer based upon what it takes, historically speaking, to win Super Bowls, then I would want to find quarterbacks that fit the criteria of winning Super Bowls. That is Matthew Stafford. That is Dak Prescott. That isn't a limited 2-year sample size Brock Purdy. That is Jared Goff. That isn't a very limited sample size Jordan Love. It's not to say that what Jalen Hurts does isn't fantastic, but if you are creating your list of best quarterbacks based upon who's the quarterback that looks most like Super Bowl champions look, then Jalen Hurts is not on that list. Until quarterbacks come along who look like Jalen and play like Jalen and win Super Bowls. Obviously, I don't mean look by skin color. I mean look by style of play. Until the Michael Vick had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Cam Newton had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Rob Griffin had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Tim Tebow had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Daniel Jones had come along and won a Super Bowl, or the Lamar Jackson had come along and won a Super Bowl, until we see a quarterback play a similar style of ball. What I mean by that is a quarterback who rushes for over 700 yards annually and has 8 to 10 rushing touchdowns annually. Until we see that happen, I am not mad at the person who says, I don't want that quarterback. I'm not mad at them. I might not agree with them, but James, I'm not mad at that person.
So
Take this off the screen.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't look. Emmanuel
Take this
Acho,
off the
like
screen.
Emmanuel Acho. I like him. I like him sometimes, but sometimes he just be speaking anything. Like what? Prototypical quarterbacks, all this other stuff. This what they talking about right now is the top 10 quarterbacks going into the season. Nobody's talking about no Super Bowl quarterbacks. Nobody's
But he
talking about
was
no
talking about
playoff quarterbacks.
What he was talking about on Speak also, if y'all didn't watch that episode, they was talking about the top 10 quarterbacks, but taking away the AFC, they was talking about the NFC with Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, Dak, and then the honorable mentions of Brock Purdy and Jordan Love, and Jalen Hurts not on the list.
I'm just saying, like, period. Going into the season, even with all the stuff that happened with the Philadelphia Eagles as a team, I feel like Jalen Hurts still played like a top 10 quarterback, to be honest. In my opinion, he still played like it was a couple hiccups. He had more turnovers than he usually have and stuff like that. But the dude still, he was basically like still steady. Like he still put up good numbers and everything. But from what Emmanuel Acho is saying right now, is not adding up to what the list was about. It's like, all right, you doing personal stuff like, oh, I'd rather have this quarterback. No, we're not going off that. We're not going off that. Top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2024 season. That's what we on. I see a lot of people in the media and stuff like that. They be trying to dog Jalen Hurts now. It's like, oh, okay, he's not allowed to have a subpar season. Like it happens to everybody. It happens to everybody. Once people kind of catch on to what you're doing, it's a little bit harder. Lamar Jackson float through the season every year, and then it get way harder for him in the playoffs. You know why? Because now defense is tightened down. Now they know what you're doing. Now they putting those extra DBs out there, making it a little bit harder for you. You still got the speed over them, but now they boxing you in. They doing stuff like that, and you can't adjust. That's what the Kansas City Chiefs did to him. I seen Jalen Hurts the year before when he went to the Super Bowl adjust to every situation he was in. Every situation, oh, you try to take the runaway, I could pass it. Stuff like that. So I don't feel like he's one of those prototypical running quarterbacks that he's talking about. Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, them dudes like that. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that. I just feel like a lot happened with this team and kind of everybody lost their confidence in what was going on. So, I mean, if we're going to play that game, we got to look at the whole team too. But at the end of the day, I still feel like he's a top 10 quarterback. Probably not top 5 right now, but I still feel like he's a top 10 quarterback.
King?
Listen to him when he said basically he was talking about Super Bowls, and then he mentioned Dak Prescott. Then I knew he was going to be on B.S. time, man. He was going to be on B.S. time. Then he mentioned Tim Tebow. Like, why would you put him in the list of the people that you just named? You know, that's just basically basically, saying, "Oh, y'all just like Tim Tebow, all y'all the same," basically. Then he started talking about race. On your platform, you're not supposed to be, talking about race. Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts is in a solid offensive scheme, multiple years, we've seen it, with Shane Steichen. As soon as he took over, we got to the playoffs the first year, second year, we went to the Super Bowl. And then Jalen Hurts was able to focus on his craft, able to focus on, throwing the ball and everything. And he had the time to do so. Like 2023, not so much, like we talked about yesterday, because he was getting hit with endorsements, the contract extension, everything was pounding up on him to the point where, he didn't have that opportunity to do what he's doing this year when practicing with the wide receiver threes, the RB2 or 3, whatever Will Shipley's going to be at, trying to get acquainted with guys that, he don't normally target, because he knows that, with Doug Nussmeier and Kellen Moore, he's going to have to target those guys. He's going to have to get uncomfortable to make certain throws, basically to try to, distract them with not just his legs, but with the eyes, distract the safeties and everything. They had that conversation. But if I'm, like I said earlier, if I'm gonna place Jalen Hurts anywhere, because I know what he could do. I know he could win. He made it to a Super Bowl. He balled out in the Super Bowl, regardless if y'all want to talk about the fumble or not. Like I said, he had 15 rushing touchdowns last season. He had almost close to 4,000, because they throw that at me too when I argue with a Dallas Cowboys fan or any other fan of any other organization. They throw the 4,000 thing at me. He had 38,000 passing yards. He had 38,000 passing yards. 3,800. I'm sorry, not thousand. 3,800. This is the thing with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has to just remain focused and not let his emotions. And I feel like that he was emotional last year because of the whole situation with the Brian Johnson thing. Like I said, he knows him and everything. But did you already talk about the Sirianni stuff yet or no?
Not yet. We're gonna get to that next. We're gonna get to that next.
But yeah, I think it was a little bit emotional and then frustration, because now you got relationships, going at it, because I honestly don't feel like AJ Brown rocked with what Brian Johnson was doing. But that, I feel like Jalen Hurts was trying to keep the peace, trying to keep everybody happy, but he did not like the play calling either. It was a lot of frustrations, what I'm trying to say, on offense. So, like I said, judging them off of 1 year, one bad or down year, I should say, not bad, but down. You got to judge Josh Allen on a bad year, because I remember he led the league in turnovers. Aaron Rodgers had a couple bad years up to his standard. That Prescott had bad years. He had a turnover problem. It's a lot of guys that you can say that about. But since it's Jalen Hurts, since he played for the Philadelphia Eagles, you're going to make the bar higher on Jalen Hurts. This is basically what they do. Mind you, remember before Jalen Hurts, we had Carson Wentz, and they tried to make that ceiling high too, because he was a Philadelphia Eagle. They don't want us to be successful. It hurt them to see us go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about the people that was involved in the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the national media. It definitely hurt the Fruit Loop Bull, Toucan Sam, I call him, Nick Wright. It hurt him. So that's what I'm saying, that, like I said, Jalen Hurts is top 3 and he's not 3. So regardless if you want to have a 1 and 2, because he's a winning in that whole stretch. This is my last thing. In this whole stretch of him going 10-1, he had 4 straight games being down 10. And he came back and won. Now, Dak Prescott, who's sitting at number 10, they didn't even give him that respect to get him at number 10. But
you pull it up
for for them to say that Dak Prescott is number 10, and he's a regular season quarterback. Because the only team that I could say he actually went out there and beat was an old struggling Buccaneers team with Tom Brady on there that was on his way out the door. And then you know what happened after that. He lost to the 49ers.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying, that, you know, he has to be top 3. They're not going to put him over Josh Allen because they like Josh Allen. It's
Right.
politics. It's politics of the NFL. That's all it is.
Right. Before we get to Nick Sirianni, you asked me and Smitty a question, King, about Jalen Hurts. And if you want to ask Trey,
I'm ex Trey because I think he's gonna get. I think he's gonna give like clear insight because he's a coach.
Right.
Do you feel like, because they were saying that who said it? John Castle, something like that. Anyway, Greg Castle. He basically said that Jalen Hurts cannot read the whole field. Do you feel like Jalen Hurts can read the whole field from the tape that you saw?
From what I've seen, he can read the whole field. It's just it's different. It depends on what the play call is. Some plays are designed to specifically go there. If it's not there, they telling them to take off. But it's not about him reading the whole field. I feel like he can do that. I feel like any quarterback can read the whole field, but can you make every throw? That's a little different. Your coaches game planning, they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses. Maybe they tell them not to. I mean, if that, like I said, if that's not there, you gotta improvise or check it down or something like that. I feel like he can read the whole field. Like, these dudes been playing football their whole life. You don't know what a cover 2 look like, cover 2 shell. You don't know what man to man look like. You know, they know all this stuff. They can read it. It's just about making the throw, making the proper read. So we seen Jalen Hurts hit Devontae Smith on a crazy post route and a cover 2. We seen AJ Brown quick drags in a cover 3 because both of your safeties and your corners back. Now you picking on linebackers. We seen stuff like that. It's all come with the game plan. I mean, and the offensive scheme for real. So I feel like he could read the whole field. You can't really see that based off tape. You don't see no quarterback reading the whole field for real. They go into they reading out there, they go into their hot route, or they running around trying to find something that's open. No quarterback is standing back there just reading the whole field like this. None of them. Not even Patrick Mahomes. He's not doing that. He's not doing that.
Last season,
So,
I know they basing it off of last season. Last season, how much did that right side? How much did the right side basically deter Jalen Hurts from just staying in the pocket?
it's
It
a
was the right
little
side most of the time.
it's a little everything though. I can't just say it's the right side. The plays we was running was so vanilla. The defense knew what we was doing basically at all times. So I can't really say the right side didn't hold up. I can say they took away a lot of the reads, and he had to hold the football a little bit longer. And they blitz. Jalen Hurts was the most blitzed quarterback last year in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like just all out blitz. Like, oh, all right, we ain't gonna put no safeties back there, nothing. We just gonna straight blitz you. We gonna make you get off your spot, make you uncomfortable. That's coaching right there. You gotta adjust to that. They're not giving them really no hot routes. You got Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, and Goddard. How none of these dudes can get open? And it's
Right.
man to man. 3 of the best receiving threats in the NFL can't get open. That's coaching.
Right.
And they all out blitzing you all season. You don't got no answer to it. So yeah, it wasn't I ain't gonna even put that on the offensive line. That was more the coaches thing. Like, y'all can't put a game plan that y'all know they about to do. Y'all know what they doing, and y'all can't stop it. So yeah, I ain't putting that on Hurts or the line. I'm putting that on the coaches.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, can I ask Smitty and King DV this yesterday? If you can choose the coaching staff, Jalen, Nick Sirianni, because the word of the day is 4, so we're talking about this one last time. When it comes to last season, Was it the coaching? Was it Nick Sirianni? Was it Jalen? As a coach, Trey, whose fault was it last year? If you know,
Well, me as a coach, I'm
yeah,
blaming myself.
right,
I'm blaming myself. That's my fault. I'm not blaming my players.
right,
My players, like we didn't do well of enough job preparing them. I
right,
never blame my players. So me thinking as a coach, yeah, but me thinking as a football fan,
right,
it was a little bit of everybody. It was a little bit of everybody. The players quit. The coaches didn't have no answers for. I mean, had no. They couldn't motivate the players again once they. I think it started once that Jets game. After that Jets game, all the motivation was out the window. Nobody believed in what they was preaching. None of that. Everybody was doing their own thing. Everybody was just looking out for self. So that's another coaching thing. They couldn't reel their players back in. They don't. Once they don't believe y'all, it's a wrap. So yeah, me like I said, me as a coach, I'm blaming myself. I didn't do a good of enough job to get y'all prepared for these games, and I didn't have no adjustments. I couldn't pick y'all up at halftime. As a coach, that's my fault.
right. Go ahead, Trey. What was your answer yesterday when I asked you that question?
King.
What?
No, he
Yeah,
did.
when I
Right.
asked you the question
Um,
yesterday, uh,
no,
what? Right,
honestly, like I said, it's a collective.
right,
As a fan, I'm looking at it. It's a collective. Like I said, we didn't really know until the reports came out and the interview came out with Nick Sirianni that basically, like I said, Brian Johnson started the year out,
mm-hmm.
and Nick Sirianni started to go into the game plan a little bit more, and it could be due to lack of respect. Don't really trust them, I should say. It could be that, and then also that interferes with Jalen Hurts because, like I said, he got a relationship with Nick Sirianni, especially after 2 seasons. Then he also got a relationship way beyond Nick Sirianni with Brian Johnson. And if he's hindering Jalen Hurts now, it's like they got an issue now. But then it trickles down to him and his relationship with with AJ Brown on the field. I'm not saying they're not going to stop. They're going to stop being friends. Or they got an issue, but friends argue. Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, but this is supposed to be the route. Even for instance, that interception where they said AJ Brown did stopped his route, but then it was like, oh, Jalen Hurts threw it short. So what was it? You know what I'm saying? It was a disconnect. So I just think everybody needs just a fresh start and everything. That's where I'm at with it. Like, it's not just one person's fault. You can't just say, oh, the offense not playing right, fire Nick Sirianni. You can't say, oh, it was Brian Johnson's fault because he was a rookie offensive coordinator and he should have just stuck to QB coaching. Or QB coach, basically. And you can't say it's Jalen Hurts because it was uncharacteristic for him to be making certain throws like that, And like I said, some of them throws could have been frustration. We already heard AJ Brown basically saying things like, get me the ball when we were down. So now you're force feeding it, because you're like, all right, I'm trying to make him happy. I'm trying to I know like the mind can work crazy to the point where you're like, oh, because his QBR dropped from 68.1 2022 to 60.1 in 2023. So the mind can work crazy to the point where you're trying to feed everybody. The only person that probably didn't give him no talk back or anything like that, and they were just playing in the rhythm of the game was Devontae Smith. They weren't including Dallas Goedert. So that was another thing because that could have been your hot route. That could have been your check down, but you didn't do that. You know who they utilized? They utilized 45-year-old Julio Jones. That's what they did. That's coaching. That's coaching.
Yeah, but also, yeah, I agree that's coaching, and I also agree, like from the fan stand view, that's
Exactly.
player attitude too. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
man, that's player attitude. And people don't understand we did come off a long season the prior season. We played all the way up into the Super Bowl. They had a
Mhm.
couple months off, and then they right back up to football. It's like we slumped. It was a Super Bowl slump. usually it start at the beginning. We hit ours at the end. So I mean, like I said, bro, like last year it was a tale of two seasons, and the last part of the season was terrible. But the beginning, we went 10-1. It's like, bro, like we still a good football team. We just gotta kind of find ourselves again, slow down, simplify some stuff, and just let these players play fast. That's like you said, that's coaching. How can I get the best out of this player? How can I get the
Right.
best out of this player? Like,
And
bro,
that right there, what you just said, that's the reason why I am more confident this year, because I feel like Kellen Moore, regardless of what he did in Dallas and how they feel, and regardless of what happened last season with an injured Chargers team, I feel like that with him and Doug Nussmeier, I feel like they're going to get Jalen Hurts right back on track, and they're going to make him comfortable being uncomfortable making certain throws. And now you got another threat in Saquon Barkley back there that make a linebacker move. If the linebacker moves, now you could throw right there. You could route somebody right there to throw in that spot to make a play. So that's why I'm real confident in it. It's just all about how much or how quick of a sponge Jalen Hurts is going to be to pick up this type of offense, because the pre-snap motion wasn't there majority of the time of his tenure as a starter as an Eagle. Um, stack receivers wasn't there majority of the time of him as an Eagle. It's a lot of things that it's going to change. That's why he said like 90-95% of the offense changed.
Right.
So that's why he got to get comfortable with it. Now that's the whole thing that I'm anticipating, especially approaching what will be 8 days away from training camp. I'm trying to see how quick he's going to get it.
Yep.
That's
the
that's
thing I
where it
like
is.
about the thing I like about Kellen Moore is he utilized everybody on his roster. Like every
Mhm.
playmaker he got, he utilized them. And Dallas, Noah Brown was like the fifth wide receiver. Dude had like probably like 5, 6 touchdowns that season,
Yeah,
just based off people not even worrying about him. So you got John Ross on the team. You got Paris Campbell on the team. Them dudes, they're gonna be kind of playing in the background, but when it's time, they're gonna make big plays. He utilized everybody he has on his roster: running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. You never know who's gonna go off that day. So I think this is gonna be kind of a special year. I mean, it's gonna be days where Saquon Barkley don't even really touch the ball. Kenny Gainwell gonna go off or something like that. It's like, bro, he utilizes everybody on his roster. So I seen it in Dallas. I seen it in with the Chargers, and I feel like he's gonna bring that here too. And this offense is gonna really be high flying. It just everybody just got to get it down pat first. It's gonna take a couple weeks. It ain't gonna come right out the bat. Us just coming out just putting up 30, 40 points. But as we ride through the season and he get his feet wet, I feel like we're gonna be straight.
sure.
Right. So speaking of training camp, before we get to Nick Sirianni, as we sit 8 days out, how we feeling going into training camp? What's our mindset going on? How we feeling about training camp as we sit 8 days away? King, we'll start with you.
Like I said, I'm just ready for the positional matchups, man. I want to be sure that these guys is the right guys, the right guard position with Mekhi Becton, Tyler Steen, those guys going at it. I want to see who's going to be there. Mekhi Becton played left guard, and he tried to switch him to right guard now. And if he does well there and outbeats Tyler Steen, then I'm not hesitant to have him start. I'm not one of those guys that's like, no, Tyler Steen knows the system and all that, because at the end of the day, we got to make this engine move. On top of that, the wide receiver 3 position, I want to see if Paris Campbell can solidify that. Right now he's the front runner. John Ross, he can open up the field with his speed. Um, but like I said, they're going to wide receiver 3. A lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis on wide receiver 3, but truth be told, I feel like they're going to be like the fifth option. They're going to be like the fifth option, and passing wise for Jalen Hurts, because you got Saquon and you got 1A, 1B, and then you also got Dallas Goedert. That's 4 right there. So you're going to be the fifth option. On the opposite side, you got the slot position. I want to know who's going to be there. And I want to see if one of these rookies, like a Cooper DeJean, I want to see also who they're going to have convert over from cornerback to safety, and Vontae Maddox, and then they was talking about James Bradbury if he's still on the team, playing a little bit of safety before he got hurt. So I want to see who's going to be there. I'm not really sold on Reed Blankenship starting. But he did have his best year with CJ Gardner Johnson beside him. So, if he start, that's cool. I just want him to not play like he did in 2023. But I know he was playing hurt also. That's just the excuse that I could give him. Linebacker. I'm not really too concerned with defensive end, but D line. It's the linebacker position I'm concerned about. And yeah, Devin White, he could be a gem, but he normally plays it next to somebody that's also a gem. Whereas though there is uncertainty with Kobe Dean, being honest, just him not being available and everything like that. Then you also got the Jeremiah Trotter Jr. You got him. He's a rookie. He got to learn the ropes. He's not going to come in and just automatically be his pop. Then you also got Zach Bond. Now, Vic Fangio said he sees something in Zach Bond, but we got as fans got to see it. We could go by these reporters. The guy that nobody likes. I forgot. They said it yesterday.
ESP.
But ESP. You can go by these reporters that's there, but until August 1st, where we be able to see it firsthand, I can't trust Zach Bond. I just can't. We thought he's going to be like a special teams type of guy. But if he could be that guy, like the guy, the linebacker from the Dolphins, where he had him, he's trying to make him. Hey, anything is possible. But as of right now, I think that it's some uncertainty with me with the linebacker position. But I'm just anxious to see everything come together, and that's why when you say we games away from, not games, days away, like 50 something days away from week 1, I'm like, yo, we gotta, put the ingredients in the pot first, mix it up, and make this cake first before we go to week 1.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with it right now. So that it's a lot of uncertainty on both sides of the ball, but mainly on the defensive side, and that's what I'm dying to see. Come training camp.
Yep. Try.
Muted.
Muted, bro.
I agree. I agree. I'm kind of watching the more of the defensive side of the ball. Me watching Vic Fangio, he's one of those guys that kind of like to deploy DBs more. So I wonder how many linebackers we're gonna actually have on the field for real. So Reed Blankenship maybe can be like that linebacker / safety guy that you could drop back and bring up. So, and I only even with Cooper DeJean and the other cornerback we drafted, they don't really got to rush those dudes on the field. We got so many people in the secondary right now. I mean, they just lay back, get in, get their little reps, and then you don't got to put too much pressure on them right now. Maybe later on in the season, but I feel like overall right now our secondary / linebacker position is a more okay than people think. Like you said, we got Devin White, Brooke Trotter over. I'm not most of the time we're going to be only playing probably 2 linebackers. Everybody else going to be pass rushers for real. So I'm fine. I'm cool with that. We didn't really have to put too much work into that linebacker position, like when we was running that 4-4 or something like that. So I'm cool with that, and I just want to see if Jalen Carter gonna step up this year. I mean, we just lost Fletcher Cox. He got to be our anchor on that defensive line in the middle, and he kind of flamed out last year. He hit a rookie wall. I want to see how he responds. Jordan Davis, I want to see how he responds. He's going to be forced to play more, have more playing time this year. He's going to be forced to play more this year. and they're gonna have to kind of move him up and down the line. He just can't sit at that nose guard.
Right.
So
So let's go ahead and let's talk about right.
So
Go ahead, Trey.
here's my bold prediction. Oh no, I got a question. I'm gonna make it a question.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
How often do Jelix Hunt see the field?
Huh?
this year,
This year.
I think little to none for real.
I honestly think that he's going to be able to see the field because of Vic Fangio's scheme. Like he used to be a safety, and he converted it to a defensive end. I think he's going to
Hmm.
see the field a little bit more than we thinking. That's where I'm at with it. I think that he's going to see the field. He probably see the field more than I don't know. If I had my way, I think he would see the field more than Kelly Ringo.
Yeah.
You think Jalen Hunt will?
Yeah, because who do you got, Trey? Who you got as your right now? If you had to have a started secondary right now, who you have as your CB2?
My cornerback too. I'm putting Bradbury right there. If he didn't convert to safety,
That's a
I'm putting
conversation.
Bradbury right there. Cause like I said, Vic run kind of that cover 3 type. So Bradbury
Right,
really not gonna be getting cooked for real. He's not gonna be getting forced to play man to man. He's more comfortable in zone. We already knew that.
right,
We knew that when we brought him over here.
right.
So I think he'll be one, 2, Slay 1, and kind of it's going to be a rotation after that. I think Ringo going to see the field a lot. Rick's going to see the field a lot because Darius Slay and Bradbury kind of getting older. I don't think they're going to be body going to be ready to do another 17-week season and stuff like that. So I mean, it's going to be games when they're not in there. So it's going to be a Ringo. It's going to be a Ricks. It's going to be what's the guy name we just drafted? The corner.
Quinyon
Quinyon?
Mitchell, Cooper
Yeah,
Jones.
Quinyon Mitchell. We're gonna see a lot of them kind of rotating. Josh
But
Jobe. You're gonna see a lot of these dudes rotating.
Trey, where do you put Isaiah Rogers?
Isaiah Rogers is that's gonna be your nickel corner. He gonna start at the nickel. That's why I
He
say
said
I think
he said he don't want
Avonte
to play.
Matt.
He said he want to play that.
It don't matter what he want to play. For real, for real. You gonna play what we tell you to play. Like we want you to play the nickel. That's where you gonna play at.
Where everybody mindset is that shout out to Thomas Mott and Josh. They had him on the show. They had Isaiah Rogers on the show, and he said he basically plays the outside, left or right, but he plays the outside. Quinyon Mitchell, when he first got drafted, he said, "I'm ready to play wherever you want me to play." So everybody assumes that okay, it's going to be Isaiah Rogers at QB2, and then it's going to be Quinyon Mitchell in the slot. Would you do that?
Wow, I wouldn't play him right there because you still got Avonte Maddox. Quinyon Mitchell coming in right now, he's not better than Avonte Maddox at that position. Avonte Maddox is, when healthy, one of the top nickel corners in the NFL. So, I mean, he's going to play that safety slash. And also, Gardner Johnson can play that safety slash. So, it's going to be kind of hard for them dudes to just stick right there. I think they're going to be moving all over the place for real. You're going to have moving all over the place depending on the coverage. And the only two that's really gonna stick where they supposed to be at is probably Slay and Bradbury. But everybody else gonna be moving all around. Safety, nickel, linebacker. He just that's how Vic Fangio run his defense. So I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna get a lot of people on the field.
Yep. I agree with that. So Nick Sirianni had his not a press conference. He talked
It was an
today
interview.
on.
It was an interview.
Yeah, it was an interview, and I know you talked about him in your video, Smitty. So, what was the things he said?
I
I
am
got it.
not Smitty. I am not
Dan,
Smitty. What
Dan,
did I
King
say?
D, my Dan, King DV,
No,
my bride.
so I got it here. So
Yeah, thanks, cause
I'm talking about like what he was saying. So
Yeah.
basically, he said he loves his offense.
Mhm.
But it was difficult to give that up. But he knew it was what was best for the team. But what shocked me about the whole interview was, like I said on record, when they were saying, "Oh, Kellen Moore's here," and then Kellen Moore's taking over the offense. I thought that it was Jeff Lurie and Harry Roseman that was like, "All right, we're going to make this higher." It was actually Nick Sirianni's idea to break in Kellen Moore. I didn't know that at all. So I got a lot of respect for Nick Sirianni now, a lot more respect for him because he knew if it's going to be somebody that's going to take over the offense, it has to be somebody that's offensively sound. And he brought in the best candidate. He could have went Cliff Kingsbury. He could have went either route, but he went with Kellen Moore, which I agree. Like out of all them people that we were interviewing, Kellen Moore was the best candidate. Um, but he was just saying that he wanted to make he said Mr. Laurie. So he wanted to make Mr. Laurie proud. He wants um to make sure that he knows that he made the right decision to break him back for this year. Um, he didn't really address too much about the Jalen Hurts situation. He didn't address that. I think he's going to wait until like he's face to face with reporters to do that.
No, I
Um,
think he talked about Jalen Hurts on the CBS. Did he?
no, he talked about him. I'm saying he didn't really address like where they stand relationship wise.
Right.
He didn't really touch on that.
Right.
To try to just kill that noise.
Yeah.
Um, but overall, man, like Nick Sirianni just gave us his thoughts on how everything went. He say he know that he was in the hot seat. He's on the hot seat. He's basically put all his cards down, faced up, and we just try to go with a clean slate and focus on this year. And I respect it. I respect it because he effed up, and now he got to go here and what they call him CEO coach. They call him a CEO coach now. Basically, that he just got to oversee certain things and all that. The only thing that I will want him to do is I would like I said on my video was I want him to stop Kellen Moore from trying to run him up on teams and start pulling guys if we're up 21 and all that. Run the clock out. Don't sit up there and try to throw. This is not Dak Prescott. This is not none of that. This is Jalen Hurts. Just run the ball out. That's basically what we do here. So I want him to, when he does try to get little, gunslinging, make sure he knows that hey, this game is going to be in reach if you continue to do that. So yeah, um, Nick Sirianni did have a lot of good points. He gave us his thoughts, and overall, man, I'm happy he's still the head coach. Honestly, just because his attitude is so tri-state area, um, and but I will go to say that I don't trust him running the offense because it's going to be vanilla, just like how Brian Johnson's was, because he wasn't ready. Um, and I think Nick Sirianni offense is set for a person that's just a straight pocket passer, West Coast offense. It's not for like a Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts can do that, and that's the beauty of it. But the league caught up to it, and now you got to do something else.
Right. So Trey, after listening to all that, what's your thoughts on Nick Sirianni going into the season? How you feel about the head coach after hearing everything King said?
I feel the same way about him. I feel like King said, he should he should be happy to get that offensive play calling up. Cause because if it still look the same this year, you gone, bro. And nobody's gonna want to bring you back. So um I think this is a good thing for Nick. He could step back, he could really analyze the whole team. He could go over here in the defensive meetings, offensive meetings, sit back and just kind of I mean, let his coaches coach, and you just be the overseer. I think that's good for him. And if you want to pick play calling duties up maybe a year from now or something like that, you want to do it again, that's fine. But at least you got dudes like Kellen Moore. Now you could go, oh, I should change this, tweak this a little bit, and stuff like that. But for right now, you should just play the background. You're on the hot seat. You are. You are on the hot seat. Like Howie Roseman and them basically, they gave you like you're a 1 year rental right now. You're a 1 year rental. Um, Talks about Kellen Moore maybe becoming in the next head coach, and there's a lot going on. So you just play the background. You watch your team do their thing. You be the overseer. Whenever you got to step in, like, I ain't really feeling all like that. Now they got to listen to you. You the head man. But other than that, let your coaches coach. It's gonna be so simple for you this season. All you gotta do is be a motivator. That's all you gotta do is be a motivator. Keep the team hype. Keep them in. All that. You don't got no other job for real. For real. Just be that dude on the sideline, the fiery dude that you always been. So I still feel the same way about Nick Sirianni. He did nothing but win since he's been here. Since he's been here, he's been in the playoffs every year.
Mhm.
He done nothing but win for us. I don't see the point of getting rid of him after a season that didn't go our way. And a lot of people was like sour on him, and I was saying it the whole time. I'm like, I don't think he should leave.
That's
Now we about to go through a revolving door of coaches and all that. We don't need that right now. He made a couple mistakes that he shouldn't have made. Now let him come back and try to redeem himself. If it still look bad when he come back this year, now you got to go. But at least give him a chance. They did the same thing to Dougie P. I'm like, bro, we can't keep losing these winning coaches for like these winning coaches.
well. With the Ducky P situation, I'm gonna start there.
Yeah.
I thought that, well, from what I heard, I'm not gonna say I know, but what I heard was Dougie P wanted to change up some things, and I think Lori and Howie wasn't having it, so that's why they basically decided to let him go. They wanted to change some stuff up, because it was Howie. I think that Howie didn't tell Doug that they were drafting Jalen. I think that he just
Right.
had to work with what he had to work with. But to go off of so Devontae Smith actually at the softball game before we were able to go and take pictures with him and everything. Um, he actually said the same thing that you just said. You know, he's able to see everything outside looking in instead of being in the mix, and
Mm-hmm.
they think that would be the best position for him. Um, the only thing I think is stopping Kellen Moore from becoming the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if he's too fond of Stoutland. And Stoutland is a bleach stain with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I don't think that they're going to be willing to do that. Um, but he could get a head coaching job elsewhere. He could, especially if we go to the Super Bowl. He gonna get a head coaching job somewhere like that. You know, if he's going to take that.
Um,
Um, but like Nick Sirianni is I feel like Nick Sirianni is in a good position
Great
because
position, actually. Yeah, in a
right,
great
right.
position.
Because now you're overseeing everything. All you could do is sit up there and manage it. Like you're just managing stuff. Like, all right, look, maybe not that. Maybe we should try this. You know, um, one mistake that Nick Sirianni did off the top of my head that he did last year was make that call to switch defensive coordinators. So like that was a bad mistake
Yeah.
because in the first half of the season we were talking about how um Sean Desai was just adjusting in the second half, especially with the Rams game, Dolphins game, was just adjusting. Um, Matt Patricia, not so much, not so much. He left James Bradbury on the island, and he got cooked by a rookie. You know, the second time he did that was in the playoffs, and he got cooked there too. But that was more effort because he could have tackled him. He could have tackled him, but it was a poor wrap up, and he took it to the house. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but look, I say it like this: Nick Sirianni, like I said, like it or not, he's still a head coach. And him and Jalen Hurts has the rapport. This is the only consistency he had since he's been a starter in the NFL. So, like it or not, he's still the head coach. I feel like that this is needed for the city. This is needed for the organization. And I feel like that we got the two best coordinators that we could have got this offseason to be in this position. And like I said, Nick Sirianni's in a great position. And if all else fails, if we don't go far in the playoffs, then the only thing to do is try to bring everybody back and try it again because it has to be some kind of consistency and continuity within the organization.
Yeah,
Right.
I was going to ask you this before we go to another Nick Sirianni topic, because me and Mitch talked about this on Cool Cat Mitch earlier about what would happen if Nick Sirianni does get fired. Do y'all want Kellen Moore as the head coach? And do y'all have a problem with that? Because if he becomes the head coach, who would be the offense coordinator? And Jalen has a problem with another offensive coordinator. So what's your thoughts on if Kellen Moore becomes the head coach? Do you want him as the head coach?
Uh, with the Kellen Moore thing, I
Yeah.
think I think he going after this season anyway. Um, he's gonna come here. If he does well, he's gonna get a head coaching job somewhere else. So it don't even really matter. Now keeping Nick Sirianni in the building around Jalen Hurts, that's gonna matter because coordinators come and go, but the most consistent thing is a head coach. The
Mm-hmm.
most consistent thing is that you lose coordinators every year. Every year they go on head coaching jobs, getting bigger positions, stuff like that. You lose them every year. It's rare to even see a coordinator in a place for 3 or 4 years. Now, it used to be like that back then, but now everybody need head coaches. Head coaches getting fired every other day. Coordinators getting fired every other day. So it's like a revolving door with coordinators. But if you can keep the head coach and the quarterback together, you can always figure it out. I don't know what kind of conversations Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni actually having when it come to picking stuff like that, like coordinators and players and stuff like that. But the more they grow together, the more they're gonna be comfortable with those conversations. So, um, like I said, my personal opinion, Kellen Moore going after this season regardless. So, so that wouldn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. King?
The quick answer is no. I wouldn't want him as a head coach
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like that he would want to do the play calling and be a head coach at the same time. I feel like that we in a good position, just like the Detroit Lions with their head coach. He doesn't call any plays. He allows his coordinators to do what needs to be done. Um, I feel like that Nick Sirianni, like I said, he's the tri-state area. He's that type of guy. He could be Camden, he could be Philly, he could be Delaware. Um, but overall, I just think that Nick Sirianni just can't do play calling. He's not equipped to do play calling, and that's okay. And that's okay. But Kellen Moore as a like I feel like Kellen Moore is that worker that works at the best superstore and he's killing it in sales. And then they like, oh, we need you to be a manager, but is that like a low end store? Because I say that because he has everything in his arsenal. He has Jalen Hurts. A couple years removed, he was the MVP candidate. You got 1A, 1B, a couple years straight, over 1,000 yards together. Dallas Goddard, arguably top 10, um, or if not top five, tight end. Um, One of the best still, regardless if we lost Jason Kelsey or not, it's not going to be as great, but you still got a decent offensive line. Then you just added Saquon Barkley, that had the same type of games lost with opposing teams that Christian McCaffrey. You see what Christian McCaffrey did with the 49ers. So who's to says that, Saquon Barkley can't do the same thing? You got all this stuff at your arsenal. You're not going to get this again. I don't care how you look at it. You're not going to get this again. Howie Roseman is a master chef that cooked all this up. So you're not going to get this again, even if you go to another head coaching position. But head coaching position here, I think that it won't be great. It won't be great here. It would be good because it's Jalen Hurts still knowing, the play calling and everything like that. But it wouldn't be great because you're trying to manage and call plays at the same time. I don't know if Kellen Moore is ready. I don't know if he's ready at all for that. Um, I don't think they should have fired Nick King Eagle. Because like I said on my video that he's a player's coach. And when you have not only the players that grew with him throughout his journey as a Philadelphia Eagles head coach in his 4-year season, his 4 years, um, but you also had the vets like Kelsey, Fletch, Brandon Graham. You had guys like that even vouching for him. So
for
you
sure.
take him out of this situation. Now it's like, all right, who we got here now? And I know me, anytime I change, anytime my company or our company changes at work, managers or whatever like that, we like, all right, who's going to come in here now? Now we got to try to adjust to their way of things. Whereas though, why would you try to adjust to a head coach? That's dumb. That's what I'm saying. Nick Sirianni had one bad year. If you're going to judge Nick Sirianni off of one bad year and a couple bad judgments in that year, then you got to judge Jalen Hurts as well. You have to, and that's just the conversation that we got to have because Jalen
Right.
Hurts did things regardless of how everything went down. That we're not pointing fingers at everybody at one person, but Jalen Hurts did make those throws. Jalen Hurts did not take care of the ball, and he caused non-fumbles. It's a lot of things that we can sit up here and talk about that people are not ready to talk about. They just want to big up
Facts.
Jalen Hurts because everybody's against him. But at the same time, Jalen Hurts made mistakes in that year too. And like I said, you can't judge Jalen Hurts off of one bad year. He had one bad year, but it can't be consistent because now we got to have that conversation. But
Right.
Nick Sirianni had 1 year that was bad, and now everybody's saying fire Nick Sirianni. That's the easy way out. Why not sit up there and have him redeem himself? That's
Right.
that's stupid. It's dumb, and it's just a weak minded way of thinking. And I'm not saying King Eagle, you're weak minded. I'm just saying that that's what everybody say. Fire Nick Sirianni, but Nick Sirianni is needed right as of right now. It's not his moment to not be a head coach for the Eagles. It's not. And if he sit up there and take us today and tomorrow, if he take us to the Super Bowl and we win the Super Bowl, ain't nobody gonna say fire him. He got to the Super Bowl twice. He won and won in the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta let things play out the way it's gonna play out.
Facts.
I don't know.
I
I
agree.
don't know. It's weird. It's
No,
weird.
I agree, bro. Like I agree exactly what you're saying. Because when all this was going down and the coordinators got fired, I was saying the same thing. I said, why y'all want to lose Nick Sirianni too? The dude ain't did nothing but win. Even last year, we still had a winning record. With everything that happened, how it unfolded at the end of the season, we still had a winning record. We still made the playoffs. I mean, we unfortunately we lost to Tampa Bay, but we we still was on a trajectory as one of the best teams in the NFL before we kind of imploded. So, and why would you like you said? Why would you not give this dude another chance to run it back? He did nothing but win for us since he's been here.
Mhm.
Now you want to fire him after a couple bad games? It's like I don't know. That's just Eagles fans overreacting all the time. Because all they
Yeah,
do is
and that's
overreact
crazy
to
that you said that.
everything.
It's crazy that you said that because I'm not gonna lie, I got on here and I did that too. Like, yo, man, what's wrong with Nick Sirianni? I made shirts, I did all that. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, take a step back. I'm a content creator. I gotta look at everything as a whole. And I'm like, yo, he made mistakes, but if we keep the turnstile going with coaches and coordinators and stuff like that, the numero uno, Jalen Hurts is not going to be able to grow. This offense is not going to be able to grow. Defense is not going to be able to grow. We're not going to be winning like that.
Right,
We're talking about Nick Sirianni like he went 5-12 last year. He
for
went
sure.
11-6, regardless of how it happened. He went 11-6. That's what I'm saying. He still had a winning record. We still made the playoffs, even though we lost the first round. We still made the playoffs. So that's what I'm saying. That you got to give him another shot, man. And the certain things that he does is Philly, and they embody it. If we're winning, you don't have a problem with the head coach. But if we're losing, fans has a problem with the head coach because he's the number one reason why we got a problem. You know, he in that interview too, he also said that Brian Johnson was the offensive coordinator. He was the offensive coordinator.
Right.
All he did was basically, hey, you should do this, you should do that. Or if they went for 2, he called that out. He did
Right.
that. But everything else, Brian Johnson was doing. So why not put that blame on Brian Johnson, who also just got a job? So that's what I'm saying. That teams is not giving up on coordinators that didn't really do much for a team with this much talent. So why should we give up on a head coach that took a team to the Super Bowl, have a winning record, has that connection with a Jalen Hurts, the wide receivers, vets that's going to come back and help these young guys like a Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Like, why are we giving that up? Because
Right.
like who else are we gonna get? Who else are we gonna get? Who else are we gonna get?
It,
I know you're not thinking we're gonna get Bill Belichick because y'all not gonna like him here. I'll tell you that now. You're not.
Yeah. Let's see. King says when you have to hire Big Hot Dom to basically be his babysitter, and by keeping Nick Sirianni, we are going to be going to an offensive coordinator rotative door, and Jalen has never really endorsed Nick.
I'm not gonna say he never endorsed him. He said a lot of good stuff about Nick Sirianni. He just don't say what y'all want him to say. I want him to.
Right.
And Jalen Hurts don't say that about nobody though. So he's like, he don't say that about nobody. Even when he talking about like AJ Brown or Devontae Smith, one of those dudes. Yeah, we do what we need. His answer's always been vanilla. They always been vanilla. He didn't say nothing good about Nick Sirianni. Okay. I don't know what personal conversations they have. Maybe you don't want to put that kind of stuff out there. Like, Jalen, like I said, since he came in the league, when did you ever hear Jalen Hurts talk bad or even kind of good about anybody? Everything is like kind of militant with this dude. Like it's like we as a team, you ask him about a personal question about somebody. Yeah, as a team, we just kind of sit down, we discuss stuff like that and all. That. He give you the look like he reading it out of a book because he don't want to give y'all nothing. So I'm pretty sure, like, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I'm pretty sure if it got that bad, Jalen Hurts got enough of a voice in that front office and all that. They get Nick Sirianni out of here if it was that bad. Because he basically got Brian Johnson out of here. He didn't want to work with him no more. He basically got Brian Johnson out of here. So I'm pretty sure he has enough pull. After you just paid him all that money, he has enough pull to get Nick Sirianni out of here if he really wanted to. So, this is what we do in Philly. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is what we do in Philly. Okay, Nick Sirianni fiery. They had to hire a bodyguard or whatever you talking. He's fiery. He's passionate about the game. Sometimes I think he's a little over the top too, but it's not fake with him. He's not fake. He wears emotions on his sleeve. A lot of people don't like that. Oh, you're a head coach. You should conduct yourself better. Y'all forget Nick Sirianni played football his whole life. His whole life, college, everything. So sometimes them emotions take over when you in the game. I ain't gonna lie to you. I coach football. Sometimes I find myself jumping up and down, screaming like I'm in the game. And I gotta kind of reel it back, like, oh snap, I forgot I ain't even playing no more. I gotta be out here coaching. I gotta kind of conduct myself a little better. So I mean, it happens when you a fiery dude and you really that passionate about the game. Sometimes your emotions come out, and it makes it look a little worse because he's on a national platform. But it's coaches that do that all the time. High school, little league. It's coaches that do that all the time. They get fiery. They get a little bit too hyped up, and you got to reel them back in. So I don't think Nick Sirianni is a bad dude in this city at all. He kind of like what DV said. He's Philly. He's
Mm-hmm.
Philly. Like
Yep.
he's fiery, he passionate. He
He
wanted as
wears
much as
76ers gear and Phillies up gear.
he wanted just as much as we do.
So
We don't see that.
the whole thing about Jalen Hurts not endorsing Nick Sirianni, I feel like that he answered the best way he could, not to even feed into the reporters. I think that they try to put him in an uncomfortable position. Basically, he just said, he finds the right things to motivate us. He's great and everything like that, but that wasn't enough. They wanted him to be like, we not focusing on that. They want him to be a machine, basically. Say this, say the right things, you know. But that's not Jalen Hurts. It never been Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts also said in one of the interviews he had, I think it was the 2022 season,
Yeah.
because remember he was keeping the main thing, and
Yep.
also we was taking it week by week, right?
Yep.
And one thing he said was, "I don't want to get too high. I don't want to get too low."
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that was his mindset. And then everybody that the 52 men that was on the roster was following that whole mindset. So it was good in 2022 because we made it to the Super Bowl. But it's not good now because you feel like that, he's saying the wrong thing. Then on top of that, um, Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson had a fair shot of calling the plays. Now, what was wrong with it is, yes, it was Nick Sirianni's type of playing style, because he did say that in the interview too. He said Shane Steichen and Brian Johnson, those plays basically was his playing style. This is how he would have called plays. The
Mhm.
only difference is that out of Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni, not so much Shane Steichen, because Shane Steichen had a decent season, regardless if they didn't make the playoffs or not, with the Indianapolis Colts. Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni do not know how to adjust, because Brian Johnson is the first time offensive head coach in the NFL, and Nick Sirianni basically has a vanilla offense that anybody could call out because he put players in certain situations. So now what we're saying for the past 10, 15 minutes that me and Trey was talking,
Mhm.
what we're saying is that he gave up those duties
Yes, he did.
and gave it to Kellen Moore.
He did the same thing in
So
2022 as well. Sorry, King.
He did
no,
the
no, no,
same
no,
thing.
no, no,
Yep,
no,
in
no, 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 no,
2022.
no, 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 no. He did it in 2021 half season.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
my bad.
He did
20,
it then, and
But
that's
you
how
really,
that's how
but
we
you
made the
really
playoffs.
seen it. You really seen it blossom in 2022 when
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Steichen there. You
yep.
yeah,
really seen
yeah.
it blossom. But you're right. He gave him up halfway through the season. Yep, you're right.
Halfway through the season,
Right.
because we got
Yep.
to remember
Yep.
that year we were saying run the damn ball, and then
Yes.
that's when we start running the ball, and then we
Yep.
we edge our way to the damn playoffs.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni has a bond. If with anything, if if Trey has a player that normally balls out, today's not his day. Trey's like,
Right.
yo, sit down. I'm bringing somebody else in. That player's going to be mad. Or
Mm-hmm.
if he calls a play that the player is not familiar with, and it's like, yo, why did you call that play? Da, 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 da. You're going to have those conversations. But that
Right.
doesn't mean that they don't like each other. Just like AJ Brown, they try to make that a thing with Jalen Hurts. You know, it doesn't mean I argue with my closest friends on the basketball court all the time, because I'm like, yo, you sat up there and did a spin and a figure roll. You could have just laid it up. Like, yo, get back on defense. Like I'm sitting here, that type of player. And
Right.
he's like, well, I scored, and I'm like, so what? Like, get back on defense, because now they coming down court, and you're now it's a 4-on-5.
Right.
So you argue in the midst of any sport. That's what I'm saying. That with Jakib Sports, Fox Sports, ESPN, all those type of guys that's outside looking in is not really detailing stuff like us content creators that's looking at it not just from the organization view, but we're looking at it from the player's view. And then most of the content creators actually played the sport or know
Right.
something about the sport. They're basically telling you like, hey, this is why this happened. Of course, like I said, myself included, fans is going to sit up there and jump like, "Yo, get Nick Sirianni out of here." Brian Johnson don't know anything. Why Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator, get him out of here? It's easy to say that because we're not making the call. But when it comes to like a Nick Sirianni is that guy that's going to motivate the other guys. Like I said, you cannot sit up there and say fire Nick Sirianni if a Fletcher Cox cursed out a reporter over Nick Sirianni. Jason Kelsey said he loves Nick Sirianni. Hassan Reddick say he loves Nick Sirianni. Hassan Reddick had an issue with the coordinators. He didn't have an issue with Nick Sirianni.
All right.
Nick Sirianni is a player's coach. You want to keep that there, just like the coach in Detroit. He's a player's coach because he played the game.
All right.
You keep him there and let the coaches or the coordinators coach both sides, and then you just monitor everything. So why not give him that chance if he's a winning coach? Do you think Jalen Hurts is a little mad at Nick Sirianni for how he scapegoat Brian Johnson? No,
No.
no.
I didn't scapegoat him though. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think he scapegoated him at all. The I mean, outside looking in, yeah, but the organization knew what was going on. They wouldn't have just fired no Brian Johnson and not let Nick Sirianni go if that was the case. So I don't think he scapegoated him. I think it was real live. They was clashing. They was clashing like the play. We all saw it. If you watched the Eagles game, you knew what was coming next. You knew
Yeah.
what was coming next. Like
Yep.
every time, oh, they gonna run this slant, try to run this RPO, it's not gonna work. It was like they was running goddamn like 3, 4, 5 plays the whole game. So it was like that's not scapegoating. That's not scapegoat. He actually was terrible at what he was doing. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, look, y'all can say what y'all want, man. Nick Sirianni is he a, this boy. He a genius. I'm telling you. He a
The
genius.
one thing,
He probably don't got the
one thing,
Hold on. Hold on.
offensive stuff down pat.
uh,
I want to say this about King Eagle. Do you want to know what his record is as a starter as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles? It's the same record as Jalen freaking Hurts, 34-17. Go ahead,
Three
King.
so
playoff
you said,
3 playoff appearances.
Yep.
yeah,
3 straight.
Yep.
yeah.
Remember that.
So you saying that he called Brian Johnson plays and not his own? We seen little dibs and dabs of his own play calling, like when we had Swift as a slot receiver, but we also had Kenneth Gainwell on the field. That wasn't a Nick Sirianni type of play. That was Brian Johnson. It was another one. I forgot. I think no. It was a couple of them. It was a couple of plays that I said, "Oh, that's Brian Johnson." But overall, I think that Brian Johnson had the play calling duties because we were arguing and begging Brian Johnson week 2 to run the ball with Swift. And then he finally did it, and Swift went off for 170 plus yards. Right? Um,
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni didn't. Like I said, I still feel this to this day, regardless of the interview or anything like that. I still feel that Nick Sirianni didn't have a lot of trust in Brian Johnson like he did in Shane Steichen. I think Shane Steichen, yes, he called the same type of plays because they was from the same umbrella. He called the same type of plays that Nick Sirianni would have called. The only difference is Shane Steichen motioned a little more. You've seen that with the Indianapolis Colts. He motioned a
Mm-hmm.
little pre-snap to confuse defense. And you've seen that with us. There was a lot more movement. It wasn't as much movement as Kellen Moore's offense, but it was a lot more movement than Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni was just stagnant. It was vanilla. You already knew it was going to be a quarterback keeper. You already knew it was going to be an RPO. You already knew that all you got to do is rush them and blitz them, and basically the line would cave. You knew a
Right.
lot of stuff in 2023 that you didn't know in 2022.
Right.
So now you got Kellen Moore that's going to trick the offense, trick the defense. I mean, and then also you got the offensive line, and a lot of people are sleeping on Cam Jerkins. Cam Jerkins is going to be a beast. He's not going to be Kelsey. Nobody's going to replace Kelsey, but he's going to be a beast. He's going to be a beast. It was times when Cam Jerkins got into the game, I didn't even see a difference. I didn't even see a difference because he was learning from Kelsey. You don't
I
think that
agree.
guy was a sponge? But
I
anyway,
agree.
back to the coaching. I feel like Brian Johnson wasn't a scapegoat because somehow, some way, Brian Johnson still got a job elsewhere. Nick Sirianni having a job, you know he's not the scapegoat. I mean, he wasn't the scapegoat because Nick Sirianni kept his job. He was able to come with a plan to Jeff Lurie and Howie Roseman to see, okay, what can he do better? And they respected it and they kept him for another year. Like
Right.
Trey said, this is basically a rental. If you mess up, you out. But if you get far enough to go back to the Super Bowl and everything like that, you might get another shot. But if you win
Mm-hmm.
the Super Bowl, oh yeah, we extended you. This is the fourth year as an Eagles head coach. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know how many years that Bill Belichick was the head coach and of the Patriots, or how many years Andy Reid was the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you keep rotating guys and we just keep saying get him out of here because of a bad season, then we're always going to have those type of seasons because now the players got to get familiar with the scheme again. They got to get
Right.
familiar with a voice again. It's so much to go on with this. I'm not saying that you're not right to your own opinion, King Eagle. What I'm saying is they hired him back, and we're just giving out points of why they hired him back and why they think he's the guy. And right now, this argument is not going to change the fact that he's still the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
Exactly. And also, look at what they talked about on Speak along with that. They was talking about the head coaching rankings. And as you can see, you got Andy Reid number 1, Sean McVay number 2, Kyle Shanahan number 3, John Harbaugh number 4, Matt LaFleur number 5, Mike Tomlin 6, Jim Harbaugh 7, Dan Campbell 8, Sean McDermott 9, Kevin Stefanski 10, Mike McDaniel 11, Kevin O'Connell 12, D'Amico Ryan 13, Zach Taylor 14, and Nick Sirianni 15.
Hold on,
Mm.
wait. Hold on, let me count real quick.
I feel like that's horrible, Will. That's horrible.
Yeah. It is 1, 2, 3, 4,
We talking
5,
about
6,
Kevin Stefanski. What did Cleveland
7,
actually do?
8, 9, 10.
What did Cleveland
So
actually do? What did Buffalo actually do this year?
listen,
So,
you got 10 coaches ahead of Nick Sirianni that never took their team to a Super Bowl.
mm-hmm.
10, including number 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about? This is politics. This is guys that they like. This is guys that they talk about all the time.
I mean, John Harbaugh actually went to a Super Bowl though, so
No, he did.
we
He did.
yeah,
All
we
right,
can't
so
include him.
9. So 9.
Yeah,
So 9. They got 9. He
yeah.
did. So 9.
And I think Mike
I'm
Tomlin
saying.
did too, didn't he? Mike Tomlin went, but they lost. I think. Oh
No,
no,
I
he
didn't
wasn't
count
there.
him.
That was
I didn't. I
that
ain't,
was.
I ain't, I ain't count him. I ain't count him.
Oh, all right.
No. Mike Tomlin did get it. No. That wasn't Mike Tomlin. That was the other
And,
coach they
and
had.
then actually, Jim Harbaugh went to the Super Bowl too. He beat his brother in it. I mean, he lost to his brother in there. So it's a
That
lot
was
of
on San
Super
Fran.
Bowl. Yeah, that's what
So
it, when
8.
he's in San Fran. Yep.
All right, so 8. So 8. Because I forgot he was in San Fran, then he went to college, and then he came back. Got
Yeah,
you.
then he came back. Yep.
So yeah. So yeah. So all right, 8. So he should still be in the top 10.
No, for sure. Should definitely be in the top 10.
The fact
Especially
that
over like Zach Taylor. I mean, D'Amico Ryans did it for 1 year. Kevin O'Connell, they got him up there at 12. What did Minnesota do the whole time he been there? I don't think they made a playoffs yet. Mike McDaniels, okay, they got the little high flying offense. And Cleveland coach did nothing at all to be right there at number 10. So I don't get it, but okay.
like with Nick Sirianni for his stint with the Philadelphia Eagles, the winning percentage is there. We
I'll be
made it
right
to a
back,
Super
y'all. Keep
Bowl.
talking. I'll be right back.
We made it to a Super Bowl. Um, Matt LaFleur didn't. Dan Campbell didn't. Sean McDermott didn't. Kevin Stefanski didn't. My uh Daniels didn't. It's a lot of guys that didn't. D'Amico Ryans, he did it like you said 1 year. Zach Taylor didn't. Kevin O'Connell didn't. So he should be in that top 10, and he's just 2 years removed from a Super Bowl appearance. That's
Actually,
what
I
I'm
think
saying.
Zach Taylor. I think Zach Taylor actually went to the Super Bowl too, though.
With who
Did he?
though?
With Cincinnati when they lost to
Oh yeah, he
Kansas
was there.
City.
He was there. He
Yeah,
was. No, 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 no,
yeah.
no, 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 no,
That
no, no,
wasn't
no,
him.
no, no. No. I'm saying he didn't lose to Kansas City.
No, no, not lose the kid. They lost to the Rams.
Right,
They
right,
lost. They lost to the Rams. Yeah,
right.
but yeah, he actually went to. There's a lot of Super Bowl attended coaches on here. I'm still not gonna put Zach Taylor over Nick Sirianni because just based off. I don't know. That's hard. That's hard. But Sean McDermott need to come down. Dan Campbell need to come down. Jim Harbaugh need to come down because he's just getting back into the NFL. So how's y'all putting him
Okay.
even at 7? That don't even make
Right,
sense. The dude
right.
ain't even play a snap in the NFL since like 2020, like was like 2016, 2017. No, it probably was even before that. It probably like 2013 or something like that. So y'all don't know how he's going to work out in the NFL right now. So how do y'all got all these dudes over Nick Sirianni? That don't even make sense.
I'm gonna just say this, King Inko. I love the fact that you are staying consistent in your argument. Uh, but all I'm gonna say is this: like I said, Nick Sirianni, when he gave up play calling, we went to the we never missed the playoff.
Ever.
And then on top of that, we made it to a Super Bowl.
Just last, not what that, a year ago, we're a year away from a
Yeah,
Super.
yeah, 2 years removed.
2 years just
And,
moved,
and
yeah.
yeah. And Dan Campbell, yes, he had an opportunity to try to make it to the playoffs because he went to the NFC Championship last year, but he didn't do it.
Hmm.
The only
That's
people that
wild.
you can say on this list is the Harbaugh brothers, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin.
I'm,
You can argue Zach Taylor, but I don't think anybody in that top 15, other than the names I just named, is better than Nick Sirianni.
Me neither. And the crazy part is, you see the bottom half of that list, that's all Super Bowl coaches.
Yeah, Doug
16,
Peterson, Mike
17,
McCarthy,
16, 17, 18, 19.
Yep,
Shane
yep.
Steichen, the only one. And Dan Quinn actually went to a Super Bowl too. So it's like, bro,
He was in
I,
the Super Bowl with the Falcons.
yep.
Yeah, he
Yep.
was.
He was their head coach. Oh no, he wasn't the head coach. I think he was the defensive coordinator. What's his name was the head coach? The one that Kyle Shanahan was the head coach, I think.
Right.
Yeah. But Sean Payton has the Super Bowl. Mike McCarthy, Doug Peterson, um, Dan Quinn fourth almost had one. So y'all putting these coaches over dudes, and the craziest one is Jim Harbaugh because he didn't even he didn't even call a snap in the NFL yet. Y'all putting him at 7. He been out of the NFL for like 6 years.
But King, this was a safe Nick Sirianni. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. Nick Sirianni, when he first got hired, he was a safe hire.
Hmm.
I feel like he was a safe hire because at the end of the day, he wanted to be head coach. He's one of those guys like, okay, I'm gonna let you do what you want to do.
We already
You
stated he
mess
was in the Super Bowl before, but he hasn't been in the NFL for like 7 years.
right.
So
If Nick Sirianni mess up, like I said, or well, like what happened, not like I said, but like what happened, they basically was like, all right, well, what's your plan? Give me your plan. If we don't mess with your plan, you out of here. But if not, if we do, then we can move forward. They
can we?
liked they liked his presentation. They liked all that, right? His play calling does up. Not disagreeing with you there, but he said it on record on the interview, and it's still you can look it up. He basically said that he was the person that stepped aside And he was the person that set up there and said, okay, Kellen Moore is the man for the job. Break him in. That's basically what he said out his mouth to John McMullen. So that's what I'm saying, that you got to condemn him for that. You got to condemn him for that. Man, I know a lot of guys that sit up there and messed up with girlfriends that say, yo, I know I messed up, but, I'll do this, and third, and I'll change this and that and the third, and she take them back. So why, as loyal fans of an organization, we can be like, all right, we got to give him another shot? That's all I'm saying. I just don't understand. The Nick Sirianni job is on the line. Yeah, we know that. We know that. We're not
Yeah,
disagreeing.
we already stated that though. King Eagle. We said
But
this like a rental year film. So I mean, we already stated that, but I don't feel like how y'all be trying to give Nick Sirianni all this bad slack. I don't think he is deserved. Like I said, the dude ain't did nothing but win since he been in the Eagles organization. He did nothing but win. Take
Yep.
his team to the playoffs 3 straight years. Take his team to the Super Bowl the year before last. Take his team to the playoffs last year. It's like, bro, he's winning. He's winning. Ain't this what y'all want? Ain't this what
Exactly.
Eagles fans want? Don't y'all want to win? That's what he's doing. He's winning. He
so
brought that winning
so
culture back.
yeah, right. And King Eagle. So like when we win the NFC Championship, I'm just speaking into existence, right? So
Yep.
if when we win, right?
When.
Those 2 weeks until the Super Bowl. Well, that 1 week, because that last week I think it's just like a lot of interviews, a lot of BS questions.
Yep.
Media's going to ask them in the Super Bowl. But that 1 week, we're going to get a video. Now we go to win the Super Bowl, and Nick Sirianni gives like a Jason Kelsey type of speech. He didn't have nothing to do with it. If Nick Sirianni, you see him on the sideline, and Kellen Moore wanted to run something else, but he's like, no, run this at the goal line, and we win by 7. That's not Nick Sirianni knowing his guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to look at the game before you sit up there and judge Nick Sirianni, because you can't sit up there. From what I know, Nick Sirianni, when he gave up play calling, we had success as Eagles. As the Eagles, we had a success. When he sat up there and decided that he wanted to butt in an offense, we did not have success. So if he's giving up the offense, and he's giving up an offense to a way better offensive coordinator,
Exactly,
how's that not
Kobe.
a good decision?
Exactly. How do
Because Cozy, it's because it's a what have you done for me lately? Which means, what had you done for me since last year? Type of league. That's what it is. It's politics. It's politics. It didn't. That's number one. Number two, and I sound like Biden when I do that. Number two is, it's the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
That we don't like us, and no one likes us, and we don't
We
care.
don't
That's
care.
not just a song.
It's
It's
a
not
way
just
of
a
life.
song. They don't like us.
Yo, to be honest, when they come to the Nick Sirianni thing, and people not even realizing it, he admitting his flaws right now. Him stepping back and letting Kellen Moore run that offense. He admitting that he's not really that good at it. He admitting it. He probably came with a plan, but he's like, all right, it ain't working. So I mean, usually head coaches get fired over stuff like this, trying to go out on their sword and all that. At least he man enough to admit, like, oh, I don't really got this right now. I could focus on other places, and I'll just bring somebody in to focus on this. That's being a head coach. Y'all want head coaches that call offense. Oh, he can't call off. Every head coach don't call offense. Dan Campbell was a defensive player. I mean, he was a tight end, and he coaches defense. He don't call nothing. He don't got nothing to do with that offense.
King,
A
king,
lot of these
king.
winning coaches don't got nothing to do with their offense. Bill Belichick never had nothing to do with his offense. Never.
If you don't believe that Nick Sirianni doesn't get his team fired up and motivated to go out there and win a ball game, look at unscripted 2022 season, please.
Yep.
Please. Roots on 3, that was his thing.
Yeah.
and they ran with it. The vets started to believe in it. They ran with that. He gave a hell of a speech when he was going over game plans before the Super Bowl, before playoff games and everything. Please look at that again if you haven't already watched it.
Exactly.
There's no way in hell that this guy's not motivated. This is one thing that he does great that you can't take away from him. I remember looking at Unscripted, and it was one game, I forgot what it was. I don't know if it was against Tennessee or something like that, but he went to AJ Brown. Don't you like being the Eagle?
Don't you like being in Philly?
Like little things like that. Like, yo, we got to keep this going, man. I like when we winning because my coach is happy, we happy, and that's what I'm saying. It's contagious. It is.
Exactly.
But if your coach is yelling at you, that's contagious too.
Exactly.
The Flowers, LOL. If Kelsey don't endorse it,
And at the end of the day, Nick Sirianni is your head coach, and ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Sorry. So
no, King. No. I like this because King is right to his own opinion about Nick Sirianni and everything like that. But one thing, King Ingle. I don't know if you subscribe to my channel. I feel like you are. So one thing I don't want to see me, Smitty, even on Birds of Broad Street, Aftermath, whatever.
yeah,
I don't want to see when Nick Sirianni has something or an effect on the game. I don't want you to sit up there and say anything about Nick Sirianni.
exactly. Simple as that, man. Simple as that. All right, enough talking about Nick Sirianni going back and forth because it ain't gonna go through people's ears. So we said what we said. So see, he said something else, didn't he?
No, he said I could do that. He was replying what I said.
Exactly. Right. So let's go ahead. Let's give our final thoughts. We're already in the 2-hour range. Thank King DV for rocking with us. Salute to Trey. Salute to everybody that rocking with us. So go ahead, King. Give you our final thoughts.
People, we are 8 days away. 8 days away from the start of training camp. Just embrace it, man. It's going to be a lot more content from us. It's not going to be that much dry spots in conversations because now we got things to talk about. I know me, Cool Cat. I think Trey might be at open practice on August 1st.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that it's just a lot to get into, man. There's a lot of people.
Next
There's
week,
a lot of
Julius.
people it's a lot of people that's going to be there. So just stay tuned. Next week, next Tuesday.
Yep.
Next Tuesday. So a week from tomorrow.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot to get into. I'm still gonna be pumping out videos about certain things, positional battles, even different positions to see how we can strengthen up the position. What's different from this year and try to motivate fans, that think less of a Jordan Davis or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just stay tuned for everything, man, and enjoy the ride of getting this 53-man roster together. I feel like I had a last thing.
Yeah.
I had a lunch while I was with my wife at Penrose Diner. If anybody that lives in Philly, you know where that's at. That's around the corner from the training camp and also the stadiums.
Yeah.
And he was basically saying he's worked for the Eagles, and he said that they're comfortable with the wide receiver 3 position. So we could dead all the trade talks for Trey Burks and or anybody else. There's no way it's going to happen because they comfortable with whoever they got in the building at wide receiver 3. So I mean, all that, man. Look, man, you can follow me all on social media platforms, King DV Sports, all one word. But until next time, man, go Birds, man. Thanks for having me on the platform.
No problem. Go ahead, Trey.
Oh man, you already know. Like DV said, football here is back.
Mm-hmm.
It's back, man. It's what the open practice August 1st. I'll be attending. I know all y'all two will be attending.
Yep.
I mean, after that, we rocking and rolling. You get some preseason games and then season right there. Right.
Yep.
Y'all not hype? I'm hype. I don't know. I hate this little stretch when there ain't no basketball, no football. It's like,
Exactly.
bro, this be the worst time. This be the worst time of the season, man. I don't even know
Yeah,
what to do with myself.
Trey, you be sitting up there like us as consistent content creators. We sit up there and be like, "Yo, did Jalen Hurts chew his gum on the left hand side?" Because we're trying to get a story instead of just being like talking
Yeah,
football.
this
You know, it's dumb.
anything. Try to talk about anything. It be like, man,
Yeah,
basketball over, football over, ain't nothing but baseball and stuff. Like, I don't watch no baseball. Like, man, we need some football back, man. Well, it's right
Mhm.
around the corner, man. Like, look, right around the corner. And like I said, I don't think a lot of people feel this way, but I feel like this team gonna be special this year. I feel like this gonna be a special unit, and we're gonna do some special things this year. I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm just saying we're gonna be special. We're gonna be special. We're gonna turn this league up this year. And
yeah,
that's all I really got to say about it, man. Fly Eagles fly. It's your boy One Tree Rock. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And for me, y'all, we're officially 52 days away from kickoff with Eagles and Packers in Brazil. We're officially 8 days away from training camp, man. This drought is officially over. After tomorrow, we're officially 7 days. Enjoy it while you can, man. And trust me, we will be back up here on Broad Street Aftermath. The countdown will be on Cool Cat Mitch. We'll be on B.O.B.S. Lots of content coming for the three of us, man. So stay tuned, man. So for Trey, for Smitty, for King DV, Moan, and Eagles everywhere, it's your boy Cool Cat Connor. Fly Eagles Fly, go Birds. And just remember, you're always welcome to Broad Street. Lights out.